Hi, Phillip. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm well, thank you. Thank you so much for joining Carbon Convos. And as you know, July is Minority Mental Health Month. Excuse me. And we're here to talk about wellness. You're an entrepreneur. And first off, I want to talk about what you do, your business.
Okay. Well, I am a entrepreneur, I guess. I own and run a alternative culture store called OffBeat. We sell records, comics, designer toys, and we run as an art gallery for young minority artists to showcase and sell their work.
And when did you start that?
I started May 17th, 2014.
Okay. You've been doing this for a while. This is your 10-year anniversary. Did you do anything special in, I guess, May of this year?
Yeah, we did like a special like screen printed poster. We partnered with a local brewery and did a limited edition beer release. We did a zine which had a lot of like notes and blurbs and pictures from a lot of customers that have frequent the shop throughout the years. We did a it was like an all day kind of like customer appreciation thing. So we gave away records for each purchase, and it was a lot of stuff.
It sounds like it was fun.
Yeah.
And you're also a DJ, DJ Young Venom.
Correct. Correct. I've been DJing for 20 years.
Mhm.
Part of the Violator All-Star DJs, which is a worldwide DJ coalition founded by Scrap Dirty, um, founded by Scrap Dirty and legendary DJ Cool DJ Red Alert. So I'm part of that coalition, and I'm very proud to be a part of it because there's a lot of guys that are that I wouldn't consider I'm still not on par with, but they consider me peer a peer there. So I'm always grateful for that. But I take the craft of DJing very seriously.
Do you run this by yourself or do you have a team?
It's just me.
Okay, so that leads me into our conversation in terms of how are you balancing wellness with being a full-time entrepreneur because your store is open most of the day, what, 6 days a week?
6 days a week. Yeah.
Excuse me, so that's a lot. And I know I came to know of you through an NPR interview that you did, and you talked about how you always try to at least fit in a walk either before or after work. So, one, how do you sustain your energy enough to, at the end of the day, go and exercise? Because that's really hard for most people to work all day and then, try to take care of themselves. And you're running a business and also trying to take care of yourself. So, how do you balance all of that?
Um, it's a lot of mental things you kind of have to go through first, and that's where it really starts. Is from my experience. I can't speak on everybody's, and so um I'm about to be 40 in a couple of weeks. So health wise, I need to be like, be on top of everything. And during the planning of the anniversary, I noticed that I was just eating out a lot, like a lot of fast food. And I was just like, this is bad. I need to stop doing this. And then I actually put myself on a scale. I said, okay, yeah, I don't like this. And I don't like how I feel and everything like that. So, um, and I just started back in June where I was just like, okay, I'm gonna start off walking a mile a day, and I'm only doing a mile a day because it's so freaking hot right now. It's like 105 here in Mississippi. So I try to do that when I get off work. And now that I'm getting used to that, I'm gonna up it to 3 miles. But I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try to get up in the morning and do 3 miles or at least two. So that way I could do at least 3 miles. Because I think the goal is you're supposed to do like 10,000 steps a day. So just doing that helps out with me with my energy wise when I get up the next day in the morning. And I'm not being a DJ, I was so used to staying up to 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I it's part of the reason why I open offbeat at 12. But I come up here now earlier to like check inventory, check online orders, um do boxes that I had gotten in at the end of the day before. It's a necessary thing that I have to do, and so I'm making myself do it.
Mhm.
I'm just doing like home workouts right now, so I don't have the desire to go to a gym and all of that right now or pay for that because I
Mhm.
know if it's not. everything's not gonna be accessible when I want it to be.
Mhm.
So doing like body weight workouts is working for me right now. And I have like an incline bench and some free weights at the house as well too. So I can do what I need to do. Um, and I don't and I'm not lifting to like I'm not trying to like just get like massive or anything like that. I'm not on creatine or anything like that. I'm just eating like trying to eat a balanced diet, eat breakfast, lunch and dinner because that's something I was just eating like once a day
Mhm.
and not eating healthy snacks. I was eating processed stuff. So just doing just the basic things that I just need to do and getting a regular routine is one of the things that just helped me kind of focus a little bit more as well at work too. Cause I just noticed I'll be at work and I'll just be like groggy and tired for no reason. And I'm just like, I haven't done anything but sit here and grade records while looking at the computer. And it didn't dawn on me that is draining enough. So just need to be more active. That's all.
Yeah, I love that. And you mentioned so many things that I've had conversations about with other people. One, your environment, your level of activity, and how that impacts you mentally. And I want to backtrack and talk about when you were eating a lot of processed food. Do you remember how you felt versus how you feel now?
Yeah, so I haven't cut completely back. But it's like, okay, I'm not going to McDonald's, I'm not going to Wendy's, not going to Burger King, cutting that out. Um, Quitting soda is easy. Quitting sweet tea is harder. But trying to supplement it with more water and more fruit is helping. But I'm not drinking the sweet tea as much. I still have like a 14-year-old, so there's always going to be like unhealthy snacks in the house. But it's I definitely feel a difference as well too because as much as I love French fries, I cannot just be eating that all the time. So I try to like eat if I don't pack my lunch because normally I pack like tuna fish that I'll make. Um, I'll try to eat local and I'll find something on the menu that's somewhat healthy or at least cooked on a stove or a grill or something like that. So it's been helping a lot. Trying to like not eat potato chips or actually what I started doing is I started eating like more popcorn.
Mhm. Me-
Um,
Yeah,
I've been like getting like those bags of popcorn and whatever that you see at like TJ Maxx or Whole Foods or whatever.
yeah.
And I'm actually like looking at like, what's the actual serving size. So I've already started putting like all my fruit in like mason jars in the fridge just to help store and preserve them longer. So I said, let me just use this because I had like a whole case of them. I said, let me do this because it's like 2 cups for the popcorn. So I've been snacking on that at night. So I have a serving of that. I'm like, all right, cool. And I'll just drink like some more water.
You are
So
doing really, really well. It sounds like you have put a lot of effort into your health because what I have learned is that it does take a lot of effort to really take care of yourself. It's a lot of work, which is why a lot of people don't feel like being bothered with it because you have to monitor what you eat. You have to sometimes kind of plan out your week, or when you go grocery shopping, plan out what you're going to get. Really practice not giving in to cravings, making those decisions. I'm not going to have this anymore. I recently cut out sweets because I have a hideous sweet tooth, so I
yeah.
cut that onto my birthday and it's going pretty well. I don't really miss it. I would go to Dollar Tree for other things, but while I was there, I would always pick up some candy. And the last time I went to Dollar Tree, I didn't get any, and I was shocked. Even the
Mm.
cashier was like, "Congratulations." And she knows my habits, and I I feel better overall. Like I feel lighter. I don't have indigestion, things of that nature. Do you notice any difference emotionally or mentally from you now eating more intentionally as opposed to before?
um, a little bit, a little bit. I'm always kind of stay pretty mellow, pretty calm on certain situations. And it's kind of just kind of elevated my mood to be more alert, I guess. Um, and I'm not saying tonight that I'm not alert when like I have customers walk in and stuff like that, but I'm always kind of just like, hey, let me know if you need help. And then I'm like, hey, what can I do to help you? And let me check on them after like 10 minutes, make sure that they find everything okay and everything instead of just sitting down and planting. Especially after eating like fast food is because it's just like I feel like bloated or just weighted. Because I'll be like, I'm eating because I'm hungry, then I feel satisfied, then I feel immediate regret because it's just like, I feel like crap because I ate a double quarter pounder. Uh, it was good, but now I'm like, this
That is a
isn't
lot.
breaking my stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we talk about your one's lifestyle and how that impacts your mood and also just how you feel when you're sitting a lot, you don't have as much energy, but when you're up and around, like when you take your walks, do you notice immediately afterwards? Because I know when after I exercise, which at this point is relatively rare, I'm trying to get back into it, but when I exercise afterwards, I feel physically tired, but I feel mentally um I have more mental energy than I do physical energy, but I feel better than when those days when I'm at the computer all day.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. So I do like kind of a quick like homebody workout in the morning, rest a bit, and then after I rest, take a shower or whatever, then I'm like, okay, I'm ready to like go outside in this unbearable heat and get to work. But when I'm like walking at night, like even then, because normally I'll come home and I'll just plant on the couch and start watching YouTube. I said, okay, let me go take the dog out. Let me play with him. Let's go walk a mile. Then we'll come back. He's exhausted. Let him cool off because it's so hot. Yeah, I go take a shower. Then I come out. All right, cool. I'm ready to cook now. So I go cook dinner for the fam and everything. And then I don't be like I'm not running or anything, so I'm not super tired or anything. But I also it's like okay, cool. I'm back moving, and I guess my blood is flowing and whatnot, even from that. Because I'm pulling 100-pound Rottweiler with me too, trying to keep him from like being so go to every person that he sees because he's so friendly. But it's one of those things where it definitely helps out more than you would expect. I think a lot of people who can equate exercise is like well, you're gonna be exhausted. And that's not necessarily true because exercise leads to a better mental health and better energy in your body. I think that's why we've gotten so accustomed to like the weekends. All I'm just gonna stay at home. I'll be homebody, and I'm not gonna spend any money, and that's fine. But even when you're at home, you should probably be doing something active, just to keep like your brain moving and keep before you because it's easy to get out of routine soon as the weekend. For me, one of those things where I'm like, okay, I need to cut out screen time. So that's also screen time that I consider like just way too much as well too.
Yeah, me too. I was listening to audiobooks for a while I would walk, and it felt really relaxing, and I need to get back to that. But I noticed that I'm afraid to even check my like Instagram time. Like, you know how you can check to see. I don't even look at
Hmm.
because I'm like, I know it's gonna be too high. So I'm also making an effort to cut down on screen time and stay off of social media a little bit. So I think all of those things absolutely matter. So you are a full-time entrepreneur, you're a father. Um, let's talk about how you handle stress because I'm sure there are times when things are stressful, things are going out the store, things are going on with your child. Um, you said you're, really a pretty calm person, but when you get stressed or maybe have anxiety, how does that feel and how do you deal with it?
Um, like every like red-blooded American male, I will just I'll take my stress out on the video game. So I got a PlayStation 5. So I'll play like fighting games and some other games that I'll have in my collection. Um, but I play fighting games just because one, they're fun for me. A lot of guys they play like NFL 2K and NBA Live or whatever, NBA 2K. And I never big on sports games, not since like the early 2000s. I stopped playing them because I got bored with them. So, but fighting games, I even took my son to a fighting game tournament in Chicago one time, and we had a blast. We didn't enter the tournament, but we just watched everybody and everything like that. But the
It was
discipline,
an esports tournament.
hmm?
It was like an esports tournament.
Yeah, it was like all different fighting games from like Mortal Kombat to Street Fighter, Tekken, all of that stuff. Just go back to what I used to do, and I'll just pick up I'll pick up a book or I pick up a comic book and I'll read that and listen to music and just kind of like tune everything out and just kind of relax, just to get back to where I'm not super stressed out or realize that okay, this is out of my control. Let me backtrack, let me calm down and assess the situation to how I, even though it's out of my control, let me see if I can possibly steer it to where it can be in my control
Yeah.
or the situation at the very least.
Yeah. Well, one, music is a great mood lifter, a great mood booster. And also, when you talk about being able to recognize what's within your control and what's not in your control, how did you learn to even think that way? Because growing up, I don't think that we necessarily learn how to regulate our emotions. Maybe when something comes up, maybe our parents or whoever's taking care of us talk to us in that moment, but it's not something that we're really taught throughout our lives, how to regulate our emotions and really sit back and analyze a situation so that we can feel better about it and that we can work through the stressful emotions about it.
Um, Having a son and a business really helped me realize that. It would be stuff that would happen here at the shop, or I'll forget to do something and I'll just freak out about it. And, like with car issues and stuff like that, that would be like, oh, it's the end of the world type deal. And then I just get to the point where I was like, okay, stuff's gonna work itself out. Um, So, and I'm trying to convey that to my son because my son he's 14, he's about to go to high school, he's in band. So he's getting up in the morning and he's never really done like a lot of physical activity. So he's doing PT.
Mhm.
And for the first 2 weeks, I would pick him up from band camp and it's just like, how's everything? It's okay. And it wasn't like, it wasn't nothing, it was never great. And so I could feel his energy, like he was just when he say it's okay, it was just like defeat. Like I didn't do things right. I wasn't in, proper order. My timing was off. And I talked to him about that. I was like, dude, nothing's gonna be perfect the first time you do it. I said, this is why you practice every day. And getting him to realize that made me step back and be like, okay, I need to realize that myself and practice what I preach. And realizing, telling, it's easy to tell people like this is what you should do, this is how you should feel, this is stuff like that. And telling that to a teenager is everything is life or death with
Right.
teenagers and kids because they're like all about who's looking at them and what they can do and are they doing things right and everything. So um for me to do that took a lot. When I had DJ equipment mess up in the middle of gigs, I was like, crap, what am I gonna do? And then it took me like, okay, I need to think of fast on my feet because I can't mix one song. I need to go in internal mode and mix another song or stuff like that. Or, just be like, hey, I can't do nothing. We're just gonna rock out with one turntable. I got vinyl. So,
Yeah.
it is what it is. And sure, people will be mad, but it's also like I can't do anything else at the moment unless you can magically make this thing appear. And getting to realize what's in your limitations, what you can do is very important in that. The old saying, plan for the best, prepare for the worst.
So you have these types of conversations with your son, maybe with other young people. Do you talk about mental health and emotional health with other Black men?
I
Do you think?
do. I talk with it amongst my friends specifically.
Mhm.
Um, about, because everybody's always asking me, man, how are you doing? How you doing? And I'm just like, oh, I'm fine, whatever. And half the time that's right. Half the time I'm fine. Half the time I'm just like, man, I don't know how to pay bills. I don't know how to pay rent. And then I just be like, but I don't like express that to them because it's just like, it could be a God thing, but it could be like, I don't want y'all worrying about me. Cause I do have a lot of people that do worry about me and what I do and everything like that. And I'm grateful to be loved like that to where people care about me. But I also am very selfless when it comes to stuff like that because I'm just very shit's gonna get done regardless, basically.
Mhm.
And but with my friends and everything, a lot of them have been through some stuff, and I try to be. I always tell people I'm a better listener than talker, which is why I chose DJing to begin with. And I I feel like I can definitely help out in that realm of just trying to, help my friends and help other Black men just kind of mentally just be in their right state of mind. Because even have guys that come in here, I have regulars that buy comics and buy records on the regular, and we talk a little bit about like what's their day and how things are going, and I try to like talk them through. Like I had one guy, he had like just came from jury duty, and the verdict was like really messed up, and it was like one guy that didn't agree with it, and he was so distraught. Like he was so distraught because it was like a really big case around here. And he was just like, he said, I have to take the rest. He said, I have to take the rest of the week off because
Yeah,
he said to just process this. Because he said, I'm so pissed off. I'm so upset. I'm so sad for the family. And he said we just couldn't. He said everybody else was agreeing, but this one person that threw everything off.
yeah,
And it's stuff like that that happens, and you want to say you have full control of it, but you can't, and it's so disheartening.
yeah,
Um, but for him to say that I need to take this time off was a step, and he was in here buying comics for comfort.
yeah.
He does every week, but he was like his face wasn't full of the joy that he normally has, and like, oh, I'm getting this. It was just like, I hope this gets me back to how I want to feel. Ironically, I was talking with some other record store owners, and we sometimes talk about how our interaction with customers feel like counseling sessions.
Yes.
And, this is like, a third space where people come through and feel comfortable enough to talk about what they're looking for, or how their day is going, or just come relax and everything.
So how do you feel about your store being a third space for people?
I mean, it's really it's really the reason why I create this shop. In its inception and before its inception, honestly, I was always told, like when I was DJing, people like, oh, you know about comic books, you should open up a comic book shop. And I'm just like, no, that's not gonna work here. It's not a big enough market. And then as my career progressed, they're like, oh, you know so much about music, you should open up a record store. And I'm just like, well, we already got one, and it's fine. I said, I do record conventions, so it's whatever. And then I was part of this Black Leadership Institute, and we had to come up with a project that affects the community. And I'm the only person in the class that's not running for office, not running for a government position, not a doctor or a lawyer, so I'm not opening up a practice or anything. So I was like, I'm gonna do this store, but I see what is a need in the area that I'm in this city that's majority Black. I grew up reading comics. I learned how to read from my mom's comic book collection. I saw how she was treated in comic book shops because they're like, "Oh, you're a woman, you want Wonder Woman," and she's like, "No, where's X-Men? Where's Avengers? That's what I read." And so I don't want people to be treated like that. I've been to record shops and they're like, "Oh, the rap section's over here," and I'm like, "I'm not even looking for that."
Right.
So I want this to be this is a very non-judgmental space where I ask people like, hey, let me know what I can do to help you find. And if I can't find it, I could probably order it for you if it's not in stock. And, you know, uh, people from all walks of life deserve to be treated how, just human, basically. Um, Especially, Black people. But, growing up as like, I guess, a quote unquote nerd, and seeing like how everything that was nerdy is now popular it's still very weird to me. And like anime was like, you can only find those for like $30-$35 at Suncoast in the mall, and you could only comic books, they were in grocery stores for a while, then you can only get them at comic book shops. And but now we have these big movies that are super popular, and TV shows, and like that's the reason why I call it offbeat, because all this stuff is a form of art to me. It's a form of offbeat art. Like somebody has to draw, write, edit, pencil, comics. Somebody for like the action figure, somebody has to draw the figure before it goes into sculpt, before it goes into production and everything. That's a form of art. It's people out there that still doesn't take, hip hop as a form of art as long as it's been around. And people didn't consider jazz art. And so it's all these things that trying to get people to realize like everything that you see around you that you take for granted is a form of art. And a lot of people that come here realize that, or they may be only into one thing, but they see all this other stuff that's like, oh, this is cool. This is cool. What we're listening to is cool, or it's different. I don't hear this in like, when I go to Target or whatever. This is something, this makes the shop experience a little bit way, way different. Nobody's looking at me crazy for how I dress or anything like that. So it's a couple of things like that, but it's definitely important for the shop to be as open and as inviting for everybody that steps in this door, step in that door right there.
Yeah. So you said that you talk about kind of what you're going through, things like that, or your friend, you all talk amongst each other about your experiences and how you might be feeling about certain things, certain challenges. Do you think overall that Black men talk about mental health with each other?
That's a kind of loaded question. Um, I think it's more acceptable now than it was 20 years ago.
Mhm.
Because 20 years ago, people would be like, why are you talking about your emotions? Man up, pull your skirt down, be all that stuff. So now it's just like, hey, what are you going through? What's going on at work? Like, what are you gonna do about it? Are you gonna find another? So it's more acceptable for that. And I think more Black men are definitely confiding in each other more so than ever.
Yeah.
Um, I'm an only child, so I always considered whoever was my friend were like brothers or
Mhm.
sisters. So I'm like, whether they realize it or not, I'm like, y'all the closest thing I got to a brother or sister. And that's these are people that I like really confide in. If they need my help, if their car's down, I'm like, all right, I'm there. Give me a second. Let me make sure everything's straight. Because they've done that for me when
Mhm.
I've had like hard times. So I can't say that for every person in every relationship and stuff like that. And also, I'm the youngest out of in my friend group. I'm the youngest um at 39, and all my other friends are like in their mid 40s.
Mhm.
And but from when I'm talking to younger people, they are talking with each other, and they're like 25, 20, 27, stuff like that. They are talking to each other like I do with my friends. So it's not an uncommon thing, I don't think, anymore for Black men or for people to just be doing this thing. Just talking, confiding about their emotions and their mental health.
What do you think is what can you attribute the change, the shift?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't pinpoint it. It could be just just time overall. The way that we accept people now is very much broader. Um, Things that were taboo are just like, that's just everyday life. And then so much, and then life is just too short. I think a lot of people have really realized that. Um, because the people that you see with you one day, they may not be here, and from like a car accident or something with their health.
Yeah.
And it's definitely like I said, it definitely has to be like, just time and how things have evolved, how people have accepted things. Um, like for instance, like I would go back and I'm listening to records, and I'm listening to like late 80s, early 90s hip hop. And some of the stuff that they were saying back then, not gonna fly today. Like I'm like, all right, this person's getting canceled. Um,
Yeah.
this person's getting canceled. Like this is not happening. But um, it could be contributed to music, to the people that have been in positions of power that helped that, from Obama to, we had, and people always contribute. For instance, let's go to this subject, since it's still kind of trending, which Kendrick Lamar, Mr. Morale, was like, oh, it's about mental health. and all of this stuff. And I'm just like, if you went back and really listened to a lot of hip hop, especially from men, a lot of it was about mental health.
Mhm, mhm.
Like Biggie talked about suicide openly in his own, like, you had Cube talk about like how his day was going, even though it's like, oh, this is a catchy song, but it's like, no, this was like a real thing. But it's also like, when they're talking about with the whole gang stuff, when gang rap was like a big thing, and I'm just like, well, that's their only outlet. And people didn't realize, oh, this is their only outlet. They could talk about what they see or what they're experiencing or who they've lost and stuff like that. But yeah, I think all of that really did contribute to, showing, I guess, what mental health is about and the importance of it. Time has just really just changed, and for people to just become more accepting of things.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Phillip, it has been such a pleasure speaking with you. You've been so open. I really, really appreciate it. I want to get one of those tote bags, OffBeat tote bag, and help support a Black business. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.